last morning, and I'm blessed to be here and cooking for my dear Ben. But also for you guys. You know why? Because this is something you can do in advance. You can always have it in your freezer. Cheese patty in the freezer. Chef, what are you talking about? Let me explain a few things to you. First of all, we're using goat cheese. The enzyme in goat milk is completely different than cow's milk. So for those of you that are lactose intolerant, look into this, and you can use and enjoy goat milk and goat cheese on regular basis. My goat cheese patties that I use at the restaurant is goat cheese, tarragon, basil, and a little bit of Parmesan. You need some kind of a dry ingredient to bind everything together, and that's what we're doing. Nothing else in it. Let's go and make sure that before you start this process, you have your cheese at room temperature, because if you don't, they're not gonna blend well and they're not going to coagulate right. So we're gonna add the cheese in there. We're gonna add our tarragon, our basil, and our Parmesan. And also for those of you that love goat cheese, you know, it's always lacking seasoning, so we need to add some kind of a seasoning. What we're gonna do, a little bit of pure sea salt. Not much, you don't need it. A little bit of white pepper. Remember, this is a perfect time to remember that whole difference between white pepper and black pepper. White pepper is the black peppercorn with the skin removed. So in this way, it dissolves instantly with a little bit of moisture from your cheese. And we're gonna add also a little bit of parsley. We're gonna, with the extension of the palm of your hand, which is this spatula, you're gonna break the cheese down and you're gonna blend it together. Already, this whole thing, oh, by the way, for those of you that love goat cheese and beets, which is a marriage made in heaven, and why is that? You have the sweetness and the earthiness of the beets, and then you have the tang from the goat cheese. For those of you that wanna know why is always goat cheese and beets paired together, that is the reason. Then what we're going to do, I'm gonna put my surgical gloves on, because you need this, otherwise it's gonna stick all over your hand. At the same time, you can use your hand and dip it in a little bit of water. Now, after the gloves, this is what I want you to remember. The most important part of dealing with any soft cheese is you need to use the help of your freezer to work with it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a small little bowl here, roll it, shape it in a patty, and we're gonna place it on this plate. The reason we're doing these, all these 3 patties that I'm gonna make for you, they're gonna go in the freezer for a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes. They're gonna get hard, and we're gonna bring them out then, and we're gonna create a dusting process, which means we're gonna go into flour first, milk next, and breadcrumb third. Goat cheese, for those of you, by the way, for those of you that are gluten intolerant, that breadcrumb, make sure that is gluten-free, and your flour can be either cornstarch or rice flour. Here are our patties, beautiful. They're gonna go inside the freezer in a minute. When we come back, what I'm gonna do for you guys, I'm gonna make you a dressing with the juices of the roasted beets, some orange juice, and lots of love. And we're gonna sprinkle it with extra love today, because I'm just a lovely person. Now you need to know about the weather, right?